Welcome to ET with GOTB as we preview all things Barclays WSL2, or the Championship. I'm Rachel.
I'm Sophie.
And this is Extra Time with Girls on the Ball. We are back as promised. We have ticked off our preview for Barclays WSL1. Now it is time for Barclays WSL2. All of them, both of them, kicking off this weekend. It is all happening at the same time. So all eyes on women's football this weekend.
Yep.
Even though we don't need women's football weekend, we still need to start when there's a men's international break, apparently. So that is what is happening. It means that our previews are all kind of crammed into 1 week. But yes, we wanted to make sure that we gave some love to the WSL2 this season. There's some exciting teams coming up. I think this league, aka the Championship, always proves to be...
I think we're going to have to call it the WSL2 now.
I can eke it out a little bit longer. It's still week one. So as I said, we've already done 2 podcasts so far this week. If you've missed them, do go back and listen to them. You won't miss anything if you are subscribed wherever you listen or wherever you watch this podcast. Make sure you're following us as well across all of our socials. We are at Girls on the Ball. Loads coming out from us this season. We're also on Substack, and we have a deal on at the moment if you wish to become a paid subscriber on Substack, where we'll be giving extra content, behind the scenes stuff, but you can still subscribe for free and get plenty of content there as well. Okay, that is the admin out of the way. Little caveat for this is that we are recording this on Wednesday with the league kicking off on Friday, so some things are still unknown. I'm sure everything will be known by the time the league kicks off, of course, but there might be 1 or 2 little gaps, captains, etc. Definitely probably transfers
Changes,
as well that haven't happened yet, so that is an important caveat. Also, the media day for this happened on the 8th of August.
Something like that, yeah.
Early August, in St George's Park, all at the same time, and we weren't even in the country, so there was no option to do interviews for us. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be there, so it means we don't have, like last year, some voices from the players, unfortunately, but we will try and get them across the season, find out how they're getting on in their respective teams. We're going to give you a quick rundown of all the teams, where they finished last season, some of their transfer business, and a quick word on where we think they might shape up. And I'm also going to ask you to think about a player. Doesn't have to be like a key player, but if you were talking to someone, maybe some of our listeners, about a team, you would say, make sure you keep an eye on X.
Okay.
Get the thinking cap on now. Right, we're doing this one in alphabetical order, kicking off with Birmingham City manager Amy Merricks. That is her 2nd season in charge, formerly interim at Brighton, correct?
And assistant to Hope Hal, who is now the technical director or something, or head of women's football at Birmingham City. Right,
okay. Last season, of course, they finished 2nd on 41 points, 2 points off the top. You may remember that dramatic final day finish between them and London City Lionesses in front of a very noisy St Andrews crowd. It was a brilliant game. Captain Christy Harrison-Berry. Players in and players out. Right, again, I always say I'm not going to do them all. I'm not going to do them all because 16 players have left Birmingham this season. I'm not going to go through all of them, but key ones like Louise Quinn, who had a lot of injuries last season, has now retired. Gemma Lawley, Jade Pennock, Cho So-yeon, players like that have left. Key players have left. Jamie Finn is gone as well, another one who was battling back from ACL injury.
Yep.
She is out. Some of the names coming in: Adriana Franch, Shannon Cook, of course, Beatrice Sari is now permanent. So they are filling that gap, not quite 16 players in, but they have retained a good few players as well. So causing you any concern in terms of transfers?
No, I think turnover is always worries people, but I think in this case she got rid of... It's Amy Merrick's 2nd season in charge. And I think it's just about her trying to get some turnover and get in to start to build the squad in the style that she wants to as well. And I think some of those players were quite clearly, some of them were on loan last season to other clubs, or injured, or I think in terms of if I'm not wrong, Cho So-yeon has gone back home as well. So I think, there are various reasons for the departures. Couple of retirements as well. But I think it just gives them a bit of a refresh, and I think you can be quite excited by some of the players they've got in as well. I am really intrigued to see Bathsheba Louis, Haitian player. She came in from France, from Fleury, and I'm just a bit of an unknown, so that's why I'm kind of highlighting her.
Okay, is she going to be a player to look out for, or is there anyone else that you would say, if you're watching Birmingham, look at this player?
I mean...
Could be a youngster, could be a stalwart.
Yeah, so they got in Lucy Newell on loan, and she is with England under-19s last season. I think she's come from Manchester United on loan. Looks very top quality defender. Has the potential to be top quality. Just needs that kind of next development in terms of minutes. She was at Blackburn last season, if I remember correctly, and obviously all of the stuff at the club, the chaos around that. So I think it'll be good for her to come to Birmingham. They're obviously aiming high. They will be wanting to put the wrongs of that final game last year right and make it up. And given there's 2 promotion spots now, there's a real chance.
Well, this is it. There are 2 definite promotion spots, and then there is a chance for the third place team in a playoff with the team who come bottom of the WSL. So a little bit less of a bottleneck than perhaps we've had in previous seasons. What are your expectations? Do you think we could see them up in the top 3 challenging?
Well, this is my problem, Rach, because I feel like I've jinxed them.
Okay, because every season you say Birmingham.
So the last 2 years I've said Birmingham are going to go up, and they've not done it. So... But I do feel they're going to be in the top 2.
Well, look, if last season had the 2 options, they would have gone up. So maybe this season is their chance with the 2 going up.
I think with the experience of being in the league as well, while the other people have made movements, I just think they'll be in that top 2.
Okay.
Which is promotion.
Okay. So. Their first fixture is at home to Bristol City on Sunday, the 7th of September. Speaking of Bristol City, next up is Bristol City. Manager Charlotte Healy, new manager, coming across from Manchester United, of course. Last season they finished probably a disappointing 6th on 30 points, 13 points off the top. As of yet, captain hasn't been announced, but I know by the time this podcast comes out, they will have announced a captain.
Can I put a
typical,
bet on that it would be either Sophie Ingle or Vicky Lozada?
There you go. Well, some
or
of those...
Gemma Lawley.
Okay, well, let's really narrow it down. A lot of players in, quite a few players out. The likes of Jackie Burns, who I think had already left at this stage for Canada, hadn't she? Jasmine Bull's gone, Amelie Thestrup, Fionn Morgan, Amy Rogers, Chloe Mustaki. Some players who've been there for quite a while are gone. They've got in Gemma Lawley, they've got in Rio Hardy, Sophie Ingle, Vicky Lozada, Esther Morgan. Some good names coming in. They've used the loan system well, I think, as well. Vera Jones coming in, Camilla Saez, Jess Dew, Olivia Johnson, some youngsters hopefully going to get some minutes there, some key youngsters in the England setup as well.
I think they've recruited pretty smartly, and Charlotte's a great manager. She was a great assistant manager, and I'm really intrigued to see how she uses that youth development thing and brings in these players. Esther Morgan, we know the potential she has. Bringing her in permanently is key. Vera Jones, we've seen Vera at the World Cup, and 17's World Cup, and Liv Johnson, and we know the talent that they are. And then Jessie is one back up from multiple injuries, so she needs game time. And I think going to a club like Bristol City to get those minutes is absolutely key. And if she can, star, she then sets herself up nicely for coming back to West Ham.
She is a bright young player, Irish player, who has been plagued with injuries since coming into the WSL, so I do hope she has a good season. Who would be a player you would tell people to look out for if they're watching Bristol City this season?
So I always am a big fan of Emily Syme. I have been since her Villa days. I think she's crucial. Also, Lexi Lloyd-Smith is a creator, and obviously joined the club last season, so had a good season last year, scored a lot of goals. I think now she's more settled as well. Hopefully she'll kick on another level.
What are your expectations? Could they be in amongst it up the top?
I think they'll be in the top 3.
Wow, okay. As I said, as we started, fixture, of course...
3 or 4.
Their first fixture is, of course, away to Birmingham on Sunday, and I think that's a pretty tasty clash for, I think, 2 teams that people will definitely be keeping an eye on in this league. So I like the fact it's a bit like Chelsea Man City. It's a big clash, I think. So I'm looking forward to that one. Next up, Charlton Athletic. Manager Karen Hills, OG of the game. They finished 3rd last season on 37 points, 6 points off the top. Captain Ciara Skeels. Again, like a lot of teams, there's been a lot of movement, I think, in the WSL2 this season, and I reckon having an extra spot, potentially 3rd spot, is really making people go for it. Players in: Lucy Lobato, Gillian Kenny, Ellie Mason. There's quite a few coming in. Lucy Fitzgerald, Amelie Thestrup, that's where she's gone. In terms of players out, Kaylee Barton retired? right in saying that? Sophia O'Rourke, Mel Phillis, Beth Rowe, quite a few. Ellie Brazil have all left. So a bit of change up. I think there's going to be quite a few teams going through almost like a mini transition. But Charlton have always been steady enough.
They're steady enough, but they do struggle to score. And it's going to be interesting to see what the acquisition of Amelie does to that, because she had that really bright year at Bristol City under Lauren Smith. And we know what she looked bright when she was at West Ham as well. So I think she could be a quality addition. And they've lost some, key players for them, especially in those forward areas. So I think, they've recruited okay, but I still am not entirely convinced that they can push on to the next level when you see the investment of the teams around them. If that makes sense.
Who would be a player to look out for? Do you think Amelie Thestrup will be carrying a lot of weight in her shoulders this season?
I think she's one player to watch. I do think that you've got like the likes of Mia Ross, and Ellie Mason's always been quality. She's struggled with injury, if I'm not wrong. So I think there'll be ones to watch. But yeah, I'll go with it, Amelie.
Okay. Expectations this season. Do we think they're always kind of feel like they're just under where they want to be? Never kind of worrying too much about relegation, always above mid-table, it feels like, and a similar last season, kind of in and around it up until the end, but it never quite comes to anything.
Yeah, I'd probably go maybe 5th place finish.
Okay. Wow, we're getting really specific.
5th, 6th.
Oh, okay.
Top half.
Middle pack.
Middle of the table.
Yeah.
That stretches anywhere from 4th to 12th, 11th.
Their first fixture will be at home to Crystal Palace on Sunday, the 7th of September. Some quite tasty opening fixtures, actually, this weekend. And next up is Crystal Palace. Manager Joe Potter, who is a new manager, who is joined from Rangers. They, of course, finished bottom of the WSL last year and were relegated last season and were relegated with I think 2 games to go. Captain Amy Everett, players in Jamie Lee Napier and Justine Van Havermaet. That's it. That's all that's come in so far. Loanies, Lola Brown and Emma Watson, which I think are some really good young acquisitions. Players out, Fliss Gibbons, who retired, Gail, Vea, Atkinson, Oling, Larissi, Stengel, some key players. I think some of those were key players last season, I think.
Yeah.
And a shame not to be able to hang on to them. Any concerns for Palace? I mean, last season they waited till the last couple of days to actually announce half the team.
I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we get 10 players. I'm joking. I know nothing. But I do think in terms of the players out, I'm not that worried. Yes, okay. I think maybe Gail was a bit more. Stengel was always involved, but I do think she's maybe past her peak. And Lyris Day only came in for a month at the end, or 6 weeks at the end, and didn't,
much like their manager,
make all that much of an impact, if I'm fair to say. The same with Oling. So I think it's they've got. I'm actually surprised at how many they've held on to. The fact that Annabelle Blanchard left and then came back in again is key. So she's sort of like a new signing, even though she's sort of signed a new deal but then had a break in the middle where the contract broke. So I think she's key that she's come back as well. I think they'll have enough to be okay. I haven't asked for
expectations yet. Sorry. So hold your water. Player to look out for them.
Ooh. I'm going to go Lola Brand.
Oh yes, of course. I'm excited for her to get some minutes. I hope she does. This could be a really good sign.
It's a real chance for her to kind of get those minutes, a bit like Lexi the year before her last year.
Okay, expectations wise, do you think they've shown enough ambition to be wanting to get back into the WSL, or do you think WSL 1, or do you think they're maybe recognising that it's going to take another bit of a build?
I think they've got a really good young manager, probably one of the best young managers in the game, to take over but I do think you have to temper your expectations immediately. It's going to take her some time to get her ideas across. I just look at when we'll get down to it, but like when you see the likes of Newcastle spending and Birmingham, what Birmingham have done, and Bristol are doing, I think that's where my worry comes in for them, that they might not quite make the jump up again this year.
Okay, well, we shall see. Their first fixture is, as I said, away to Charlton, Sunday the 7th of September. It's very alphabetical, isn't it? It's like BBCC. Next up...
I mean, you've literally gone alphabetical.
No, I mean the teams that are playing each other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're playing each other, literally.
Like,
Bristol, Birmingham.
We're going through the league.
Charlton, Crystal Palace.
Order.
I'm not that stupid. Durham, next up. All the way up in Durham. God love them. Wait until I tell you what their first game is. Manager... Bit confusing. Lee Sanders / Adam Furness, because Lee Sanders, of course, is CEO, head of women's football, also always in the dugout. Adam Furness is technically head coach of the team, so I've put both of them down. Finished 4th last season, 36 points, 7 points off the top. Captain Sarah Wilson. Players in Grace Eade. Ida. Amber Keegan-Stobbs, Angela Addison. Oh, there she is. I was wondering where she'd gotten to, of course. Kat Shepherd, Tyler Toland, Abby Jones, Mariana Speckmayer. And then players out, Lily Crosswaite, Riley Foster, Dee Bradley, Carly Johns and Eleanor Ryan Doyle. So not loads of movement, but a decent number coming in.
Durham are always that team, though, who seem to always do well. And they've kept... a remarkably stable squad over the years in terms of the core of the squad have always remained. When you think about Sarah Wilson or Beth Heppel, Becky Solicki, they've been there since almost the beginning. So they've managed to keep that core and that spine, and I think that's key. I think some interesting signings. I think Mariana Speckmeyer is going to be Venezuelan. She's going to be interesting. They've done well. I think they've had that. Obviously, it's a time of change for the club. They've had investment in from the lottery couple.
Yes.
And they're building, if I'm not wrong, a new training ground. And so there's some excitement around the club. And I think they do know, they know what they're doing. They know that they probably are, in terms of finances, especially with Newcastle next door, they don't, they are having to manage that, but they've always done it pretty well, and they're a club that you just love to do well as well.
Players to look out for. Could we see Tyler Toland actually finally make a good mark somewhere?
You would hope so. She looks quality for Ireland when she plays, and I think she just needs some stability in terms of where she is. She was at Blackburn last year, was their captain last year, but then there was everything that came with that in terms of Blackburn. So I think it will do her good to be settled in a good environment. Angela Addison, obviously, has had is of WSL pedigree. She's going to be an interesting addition to their attack, I think, and let's see what she can do.
Expectations, do we feel like they're always pushing the top teams to kind of...
You don't count Durham out.
No.
And that's the thing. So I think let's go top half of the table.
God, okay.
Everyone's going to be in the top half of the table.
No, but like you say, they're kind of what I like about Durham is that they've been that stalwart and they managed to continue to compete, which I think is super impressive given their setup, and it is different to other teams. First fixture is away to Portsmouth.
It's a bloody long trip.
God love them. Leave now, guys. Sunday the 7th of September. My God, could you imagine opening up the fixture schedule and be like, seriously?
Yes. At least you get out of the way and you don't have to travel to Portsmouth. Well, then you have to travel to Southampton at some point.
Oh, I'm not looking at week 2, but I really hope that week 2 is not second match away to Southampton. Could you imagine? All right, next up is Ipswich Town, of course. New to the league, manager Joe Sheehan finished top of FAWNL Southern. So, of course, they were promoted. A lot of excitement around this team. Captain Maria Boswell. They've had not that many players out, which I was kind of surprised at, because you often see when a team gets promoted, there's often, look at London City Lionesses, there's a huge outgoing and ingoing, and they've made a couple of good signings that have been impressive. Rihanna Dean has come in there, Beth Rowe, Jenna Deere, Grace Neville, but I think the fact that they've hung on to so many players and kind of had contract extensions is a really good sign of a happy crowd. Players out: Angela Addison, Maisie Barker, Izzy Bryan, Grace Garrard and Ella Rutherford and Evie Williams. She snuck down there.
It's interesting because you'll see the different policies that clubs are taking, and Ipswich Town have very much gone, we're going to stick with the players that got us up. And whereas when we go down to Nottingham Forest, you'll pretty much see that they've probably gone the other direction and gone, we've got to invest in this squad to but then maybe that's driven by the fact that there is an extra promotion place to the WSL. We all know Forest's ambitions in that sense, but Ipswich Town have always done things well. They've built from the foundations and they've realised that it's a kind of a long-term game. I do remember them passing in the dressing room with Ed Sheeran when they won the title. Great memories, I'm sure, and I think it's just a very good club to be at. And Paige Peake has gone home. It's where she was before she moved to Southampton. She's gone back to Ipswich, so that's kind of like, well, she's a new signing. She's not really a new signing.
Yeah, so she'll settle fairly well.
She'll be very, very knowing of the framework and everything. And I think there's some interesting ones in there. Rihanna Dean.
Well, give me your player to look out for.
Well, as I was going to say, Rihanna Dean, I really hope she can stay fit, because when she is at full fitness, she is an absolutely quality centre forward. But she's had so many injuries, so it's a little question mark over her. But if she can get rid of those injury woes, then she's one to watch.
Expectations.
I think maybe
They'll stay up.
they'll just stay up. I think maybe they're looking at 7th and 8th would be a good finish.
Okay. It would be a good finish for a
8th
team
and
that comes up. And it's so interesting that we've got two promoted
7th to
teams.
9th, let's say.
Oh my God, you can never just leave the answer. You have to like poke at it a bit more. Point is though, it's interesting when you've got two teams coming up to see how they both get on. And as you touched on, which we'll get to, how they've both approached this. Their first fixture is away to Southampton on Saturday the 6th of September. Next up, Newcastle United. Manager Rebecca Langley finished 5th, 9 points off the top. Don't know who the captain is yet, but we will probably when this is released, and you're going to guess?
I think it's probably Demi Stokes.
Okay, we shall see.
Unless I just have why do I think that Gemma Purfield... Maybe that was Southampton. Could be Gemma Purfield. Who knows?
They've had 12 players out this season, including Amber Keegan-Stobbs. Rachel Furness retired but is sticking around at the club. She's going to be coaching
under
under
16s.
Yes. Sophie Haywood, Jodie Bartle. There's 12 players have left. In terms of players who've come in, Gemma Purfield, Molly Pike, Jordan Nobbs, Aoife Mannion. Okay, help me. Malgorazza Grek. Thank you. Una Savenius, who we were very excited about at the Euros, so that's an exciting one. And Morgan Gotrat on loan, which is an exciting signing as well. So they're definitely doing business. They've got in some good experience.
Yeah, Newcastle are an interesting one because they held on to their promotion team basically last season, and now
did pretty well.
No, but now a lot of those out are the ones that got them promoted. So they've brought in some new players. They've done pretty well. They recruited well in January as well. So they brought in some core players for that. I think they look good. They have very high ambitions. We know that they will challenge for the top.
You reckon? Okay, give me a player to look out for.
I mean, I love Jordan Nobbs. And I really, I don't think she's quite finished yet.
Yeah.
She's still incredibly, when she's fit, she's one of the best midfielders in the country, and hopefully she stays fit.
Okay, I'd kind of can't ask you expectations. You already said you think they'll be in and amongst it, and I'm going to make you be a bit firmer with your 1, 2 and 3 when we get to the end of this.
Why? You're just opening me up for criticism.
Actually, I find fans of WSL2 are a little bit nicer and less aggy, because let's be real, it's really quite difficult to predict. WSL1's hard, WSL2 is a lot harder.
Yeah, because anyone, in the last 2 seasons, anyone from 1 to 8 was in it until the last 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. Their first fixture is away to Nottingham Forest on Sunday, 7th of September. Next up, Nottingham Forest. It is weird, isn't it? Why are they all playing each other? They've just gone with the alphabet and gone these two. Nottingham Forest.
That'd be a cracker.
Yes. Manager Carly Davies. 3rd season at the club, finished top, of course, of the FAWNL Northern, so they were promoted, the other promoted team, which is very exciting. Now, they've had a very different approach to Ipswich because there's been 13 people out and quite a few in. Some of those, Amy Rogers, Chloe Mustaki, Kirsty Smith, Amy Claypole, Shani Boyle Lorca, Rachel Rowe, Deanne Rose. They've also gone for some loans as well, Jessie Stapleton and Sophia Poor. There's some good names to be bringing.
They've gone for WSL and WSL2 standard players,
yes,
in terms of proven, experienced players at that level, and I think they've recruited really, really well in terms of the players that they've brought in and who they've managed to get after. I think for me, Rachel Rowe was a big surprise that they managed to prize her away from Southampton, but they paid for her. So I think They've done well in the transfer window. But
there's been some good commitment from the club in terms of, full-time. You can see that the last couple of seasons they've been very clear in their ambitions. And you can tell by some of the players that they brought in from other WSL2 clubs. Obviously the story and what they're offering players is ambitious and legit and exciting to be able to pull
and
those
they're
players
paying
in.
for it as well, and I think that's key. And they've been, as you say, they've been very clear in their intentions of what they want to do. I think that was clear last season when they signed the likes of like Kate Longhurst,
who's now out.
who retired now. But I think they've been like that from the off, and it's been very clear that they're on that trajectory up.
Players to look out for then?
I do.
Just one.
It's hard. I'm going to go Amy Rodgers. She was really, really good at London City and then at Bristol City. Very technical midfielder. It's got in around the Scotland squad as well. So I think she's still developing, but could really nail down a spot in that midfield area.
Okay, well, as I said, their first fixture is, of course, at home to Newcastle. Welcome to the WSL2 on Sunday, the 7th of September. That will be a very tasty clash. Portsmouth, still in it. Amazing what they did last season. Manager Jay Sadler finished 9th on 13 points, 30 points off the top. Captain Jazz Bull, players in Jasmine Bull, Jess Gray, Lucy Johnson. Again, another team that have done a bit of a lot out and a lot in. Ella Rutherford has joined, Jessie Gale on loan, and then of course players out: Erin McLaughlin, Daisy McLaughlin, Annie Rolfe, Ella Humphrey, Scarlett Williams, quite a few. Hannah Houghton's gone as well, Reva Cassidy, some players who've been there for a little while.
Yeah, I think because there's the shift obviously this season that we've heard today about the minimum wages in the WSL and WSL2. I think there is a choice that has been made by a few of them, few players, about whether they can commit to the WSL2 football or whether, and I think that certainly for the likes of Sophie Quirk, because she had other commitments, employment commitments, that's why she moved down into Bournemouth, if I remember correctly, and that's why you're seeing quite a lot of changeover as well.
They did an incredible job last season to stay up. For so long, they were absolutely rooted down the bottom of what was then the Championship. They looked set to be relegated for so long. So for them to finish 9th in the fashion they did was an incredible achievement. So expectations this season, I
think they're very strategic about their recruitment. And they've gone for young players. Giving Jasmine Bull the captaincy as well, I think is, big move. Obviously come from Bristol City, has had that experience. So I think, they've got a mixture of experience as well. They've still got Sophie Barker. Obviously she's been around in the league for a long time, knows how to manage a dressing room, will be helping in terms of the coaching side of, she's just that player to coach, help as well. So I think they'll stay up again. They might not challenge. They won't be in the top half of the table, I think, but they'll be comfortable enough. I think maybe 10.
Okay, and who should we look out for?
Maybe 10 or 11. Who should we look out for? I think we should look out for Ella Rutherford.
Okay.
Ella Rutherford, yeah. I mean, I still remember Ella Rutherford from her young England days, and she is one of those players who's just so unpredictable. She can just turn a game in a flash.
Well, their first fixture, of course, is at home to Durham on Sunday, the 7th of September. Next up, Sheffield United. Manager Ash Thompson finished 11th on 7 points, 36 points off the top. They were originally relegated, right? It was so long Sheffield. They were no longer in the Championship until Blackburn essentially kind of couldn't meet the requirements of the Championship, pulled out of the Championship, dropping down 2 divisions. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, they're in Tier 4 now.
Meaning Sheffield were reinstated. Welcome back. They were relegated out of the Championship and brought back into WSL2. So they are still there, which is great to see. Don't know who the captain is yet. Probably will by the time this one comes out. Okay, they've had 10 players in and still only have about 16 players on the books from what I can tell. Charlie Devlin has gone there, Connie Schofield has gone there, Alyssa Hearn. So I'm worried about them in terms of how many players they have. They've lost quite a few. Satira Murray, Jade Bailey's gone, Monique Robinson's gone, Esther Morgan of course is gone. So yeah, I'm concerned, and again, things could have changed by the time this comes out on Friday. They could have made some more signings. I hope they do, if they want to actually be able to rotate players at any point during a game. They're going to need to, because their squad is looking mighty thin. Yeah,
interesting recruitments, I think. I don't know how to say this.
In a nice way?
Some very good, there are like good individual quality players, but it's very much like players that have left other teams in a way that they've gathered up, and it's going to be interesting to see how they perform in that respect. I do worry for them. I think they've lost too much, and they maybe haven't. They struggled so much last year, and I think they probably will struggle again.
Do you think it was almost like they were relegated, players left, and suddenly they were no longer relegated, and they had to then suddenly try and pick up the pieces?
Yeah, that's the problem, because contracts end at the end of a season, I think, and you get your reprieve, and players have already moved on, moved to different things. So I think that will play into it. Although they've had a lot of time, it wasn't a late decision.
No.
But I do think that will have caused disruption to the playing squad, I imagine.
And they clearly don't have a lot of finance behind the team to bring players in.
Yeah.
They've had to deal with off the field disruption as well over the last couple of seasons. There's a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on at Sheffield, and I think I'd just be a little bit concerned.
Players to look out for?
Amy Andrews was very, very good when she was at Durham. Went to Newcastle for a bit, so she's experienced as well. So I think she's a goal scorer. So she'll be the one that they look to, I imagine.
Expectations, I think they're the ones I'm definitely concerned with, because we've got 2 going down this year, don't we? One going down this year?
Yeah.
How many going up? They're not having a mess around with this one?
So 2 go up.
Yeah.
2 come down from the WSL. 1 goes down.
Yeah.
2 come up.
There we go. I knew there was something.
And there's a playoff for the extra spot.
That's it.
No, but not from... There's a playoff between...
The bottom of the third place?
Second place. No.
Okay.
There's a playoff between the second spot in the Northern Premier and the Southern Premier for the second spot.
That's what I was going to say.
So no one else in WSL2 is in a playoff.
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
Automatic relegation, and then
1 down, 3 up.
And the 3 come from the WNL.
There we go. Okay. I was saying it, but I was just saying it wrong. We're both on the same page, but just looking at it from different angles. Okay. Their first home fixture is at home to Sunderland. Sorry, their first fixture is at home to Sunderland on Friday the 5th of September. So kicking off WSL2. Friday night under the lights. Next
So
up...
they can get off to a good start, you never know. But...
yeah, need to sign some players. Next up, Southampton manager Simon Parker. New manager, sort of, back in again, previously at Southampton between 2016 and 2018.
I mean, that was a while ago. So.
But, still new manager.
He's been on a journey since then.
Finished 8th last season, I think a disappointing 8th, 21 points, 22 off the top. Captain, Atlanta Primus. Quite a few players in, quite a few players out, quite a shift. Emma Harries has come in, Ellie Brazil has come in, Ellie Hack, Michaela McAloney. There's loanees as well, Jess Simpson, Ashanti Akpan. Some exciting youngsters there. Rihanna Dean has left, Emma Thompson's left, Molly Pike, Gemma Purfield, Paige Peake, Lucy Kendall as well. That's a big loss for them. Rachel Rose gone. So quite a few players out, quite a few players in, and perhaps another transitional kind of season.
You're looking at that list, and at least 5 of those players were regulars last season, and stalwarts in the first 11. So it's going to be a bit of a turnaround in terms of the squad, but they have recruited. I think they've recruited quite well, bringing Emma Harries and Ellie Brazil. Obviously, Ellie had a pretty good season last year at Charlton. Emma Harries struggled maybe a bit to find game time at West Ham, and she would expect to see much more of the pitch this time around.
She is quality.
She is quality. I think since that injury that she suffered, she's never quite hit that level again, and this is probably the perfect opportunity for her to do so. But yeah, again, I think there will be... I don't think there is enough investment in Southampton at the moment I think they'll be safe. I think they'll finish 11th.
It's a shame though, isn't it? Because for quite a while we were talking about Southampton making the big jump.
They'll be on the bottom half.
Yeah, and it just never really happened. So that is our expectations. Player to look out for?
Let's go. I'm going to go Emma Harries because I've always been a big fan.
We are big fans. Okay, first fixture I should say, at home to Ipswich Town on Saturday the 6th of September.
Another one, like a big opportunity. They have the experience in this league, so if they can take it at this
get some points on the board
this point in time while Ipswich are still finding their feet, then you get your campaign up and running, and it can be a massive boost.
You don't want to be stuck on the bottom at no points for 3, 4, 5 games. finally, Sunderland manager Mel Ray finished 7th, 30 points, 13 off the top. Captain Rhiannon Roberts, which I think was just announced today. Thank you very much. Players in: Marissa Shiva, Rhiannon Roberts, Rihanna Blades, Grace Maloney, Hannah Greenwood, Jamie Finn, Izzy Atkinson. Loads Irish.
They basically signed the Irish national football team.
Brilliant. Players out: Grace McCarthy's out, Amy Goddard's gone, Megan Brothwick, Jenna Deere, Mary McAteer, and Megan Beer as well. So not like a not unstable amount, but not enough out and in to, I think, be too destabilising.
Sunderland have never really over recruited. They've always been pretty balanced in terms of their recruitment. I think they will have been disappointed with last season, given the heights that they'd reached the season before. They'll be looking to get back to that. Mel's been there a long time. She knows the club inside out. She is Sunderland through and through. I think their recruitment's good. Obviously, Shiva came in before the end of the season, so she's had time to bed in. I think she came in April, because she was a free agent, so she could sign any time. Roberts is a really astute by experienced, and then obviously the Irish players all have international experience, so crucial.
Player to look out for?
I'm going to temper my expectations, but I just want to see Jamie Finn play football again.
Me too. I missed it. Big fan of Jamie's. Okay, expectations mid-table, are we thinking, or?
Yeah, mid to low.
Mid to low, okay. Their first fixture is away to Sheffield on Friday, the 5th of September. Okay, quick one. Who do you think has won the transfer window? And it's hard, I know, because it's Wednesday and there might be a flurry of activity, but...
Can I look at my
You can look at your
tracker?
excellent transfer tracker, which, if you're trying to keep up to date with things, guys, do look at the transfer tracker. Sophie puts blood, sweat and tears into that thing. And
I
it's
think
very effective.
probably
For our podcast listeners,
Nottingham Forest.
Oh, okay.
Let's go Nottingham Forest.
Okay, cool. And okay, who's finishing 1, 2, 3? Doesn't matter if you get the order wrong, but who are the 3 teams? That are
Top 3 will be Forest, Newcastle, and Birmingham.
Wow, not Bristol.
Oh, I said Bristol before. No, I'm going to bump them down to 4.
Oh, savage. Okay, I would love to hear from you guys because, as we say, every
Maybe
season,
I'm overestimating.
She never finishes. She can't just put her pin down and leave it there. You can't just ask her credit. If I said top 2, you'd give me 3. I said top 3, you'll give me 4.
Yeah.
I would love to hear from you guys on who you think will finish in those top 3 spaces. Who's definitely going up? Who is going to be in that 3rd spot, potentially playing that playoff match against whoever comes bottom of the WSL 1. Once again, looking like a very, very exciting season, a very, very exciting league, as it always is. There's a lot more to play for. There's a lot more at stake. And I think, a lot of clubs are
That's
really...
probably why you've seen a lot of signings,
Yeah.
because they know this is their opportunity.
Yeah.
You're not going to have double promotion again, or even triple promotion again, if that's the case.
Yes, well, it all kicks off this evening. We've got 3 days of matches. I think it's going to look like that for a lot of the season with 3 days of matches, which is very exciting. But that is all of our previews so far. We will resume our normal kind of weekly with some extra episodes from next week. There's going to be absolutely loads to talk about. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. We're going to try and go live this weekend, see when we can squeeze that in.
With Saturday.
On a very busy weekend.
Yeah.
But we will try and go live and have a chat. So do drop us some questions beforehand if you want to, or during this weekend if there's anything you want us to chat about. Leave them in the comments as well, because we'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll chat to you very soon.